from work, had one cup of tea, won't be long before I have the second. You can't come home from work without having tea. But what I wanted to show you today, I want to tell you a little story. I was looking for some spare parts for some of the locomotives that you've seen and enjoyed on eBay, and I was about to give up for the night because frankly there was nothing much of interest, and I saw a lot which had got a ridiculously low price on it, and I placed a ridiculously low bid on it, and I went to bed and I got up in the morning and it was mine. And I paid a ridiculously low price for it. I don't mind that. I'm not going to tell you how much in case I try to sell it to one of you later. Now, because I am a working man, and because I knew it was going to be too big to go through my letterbox, I had this parcel delivered to my office address. And when I got in this morning, all bright-eyed and bushy-tailed and full of the joys of spring after what was actually a very good weekend, there was this parcel, incredibly well wrapped up, and you know, we used scissors and knives and machetes and machine guns and things to finally get the parcel open, and it was wonderful. It was very exciting, very interesting. Unfortunately, in doing that, I destroyed the packaging, so you'll have to forgive me. I'm going to show you what I got, and then we'll talk a little bit about it. Right, let's pick you up. Oh, do you like the t-shirt? 33 SM. 33 is the shed number for all of the engine sheds on the line that's sort of just down the bottom of the road. SM is fictional. I thought that would be ideal for St Mary's Model Railway Club, but of course proper train spotters know that sheds only ever had numbers and one letter. So there we are, St Mary's Model Railway Club t-shirt. Right, let's turn you around and bring you over here. Right, feast your eyes on this little lot. As I say, this was silly cheap. This was, if you don't like trains, it was, if you don't like trains, you need help. This was seriously silly cheap. Track. There is a complete circuit, and it's not just any old track, it's beautiful. I've looked at every piece. It's as good as new. You know, it's not distorted, it's not bent. It will make a complete circuit. This is an isolating point. When you move the lever, let's see if I can do it one-handed. When you move the lever, see that little plate with the contacts moving across? Fantastic thing, wonderful. The thing that was really exciting in here is this little chap. This is a Hornby 3-rail model of what I think of as a North Eastern Railways Class N2 tank. These never worked on the line just down the bottom of my hill, but they worked on the line about a mile north of here sometimes. It's not an engine that I know very much about, except it was designed by Nigel Gresley. And if you don't know who Nigel Gresley is, then don't admit it to anybody. Go and check his name on Wikipedia or something. Yes, this is one of Nigel Gresley's early little designs. But this is, of course, the Hornby 3-rail rendition of it, in what experts would call play-worn condition. I think that's fine. It just shows that someone has played with this. It's a little bit knocked about. Haven't got a clue if it works. Not going to try it. I'm going to take it apart and service it and then see if it works. Now, what else did we have in this box? Well, a little wagon with some coal in it. Again, Hornby Dublo, lovely. A brick wagon. Now, just a quick word, this can only be run on 3-rail track because it's got a steel axle pin between the steel wheels. And if you try to run this on modern track, it will simply short it out and nothing will happen. Well, maybe a controller will go bang, but no trains will run. Look at that, a level crossing. Wonderful thing with the deck track to go in it. Not quite sure what that's for. That can go to one side. Something more modern. This is, in fact, a Britain's Farm pigsty thing. Very interesting. Die-cast metal. Some bits of platform end, they will come in handy somewhere. A broken, sadly broken. Now, in British rail terms, we might call this a guard's van, we might call it a brake van. But unfortunately it's broken. I'm sure a little bit of plastic, I can sort that out and make a good job of repairing it. In a very ragged box. Now, this thing, this is one of those crikey sort of things that I remember seeing these in shop windows and my dad saying, you don't want one of those. At the time, of course, I did. Just look at that. Isn't that? My grandma used to say, if you can't find something nice to say, don't say anything. Yeah, okay. That will be interesting to make that run. I suspect it's going to grind rather a lot. When I take the power bogey out, I'll show you what I mean. So there we are. Right. Shown you. Now I'm going to talk a bit. Let me just, what should we do? We'll adjust our dress a little, I think. Okay, now, one of the things that struck me as I was opening this box, all of these old Hornby bits have travelled for many, many years together. And there's a silly bit of me that says they should stay together. And that silly bit started going into a thought process. You should never have thought processes if you're silly. And I thought, wouldn't it be nice to use all of that track to build one layout, a small layout. And I was thinking, what should we call it? Now, I got them from eBay. And in my head, there were thoughts going on about eBay. I used to have a great uncle. I used to have a lot of great uncles. I haven't got any of them anymore. And he had a hotel at a place called Leigh Bay. It was spelled L-E-E. He owned for a number of years the Leigh Bay Hotel, which was a very posh hotel. And only posh people stayed there. You know, and they drank their tea with little fingers sticking out and things like that. They ate scones, not scones. Or is it the other way round? Anyway, I thought, Leigh Bay, I like that. And then I thought, wait a minute. I live at Leigh-on-Sea. So I'm going to use all of these parts to build a layout which will be Leigh Bay, L-E-I-G-H Bay. Fictional. There isn't a Leigh Bay here. That type of engine never ran through Leigh-on-Sea. I say never. it wasn't supposed to. But I just thought that would be a nice thing to do with these pieces that have travelled together. Looking at them, they probably came in the same box from the shop when some lucky little chap got a train set 60 years ago. So I think it would be nice and appropriate to keep them together and just to build a small layout with a loop of track and a row of houses and a station and a little sea wall and a beach. And I'm going to use a fair bit of artistic license. There may very well be a pleasure pier, and I think that will make an interesting model. Right, have I waffled long enough? Don't answer that. I'm going to drink another cup of tea. I'm going to take that little locomotive apart and we'll see whether it works, and we'll take a look at what's needed to make it work.